Hi everybody, thank you for your time. Today we're going to be discussing the wicked problem on how to kickstart a sustainable, enterprising lifestyle for underemployed youth. Our group is called the Three Blind Mice, and we are Alistair George, David White, and Leanne Kearney. Now we come from a range of different backgrounds, including business to business and business to consumer sales, operations, training and fleet management, retail management, and human resource management. What this means is we come from a range of very different and diverse backgrounds, which is going to give us a more holistic and more conclusive response to this wicked problem. Now I'll quickly hand over to Alistair, who's going to run through our initial ideas on how we were to attack this wicked problem and how we were then going to create our business model canvas.
Yeah, thanks, David. So looking at our initial ideas, obviously the first thing we needed to do was to break down the problem being how to kickstart a sustainable, enterprising lifestyle for underemployed youth. As a group, we decided that we'd go away initially and do this individually. We'd come up with our own appreciation of the problem. And by doing this, we were able to draw on our experiences, both professional and personal, to formulate our own ideas. After that, we decided we'd come back as a group, we'd share our ideas and then formulate a plan to move forward as a group. So we looked at we've come up with the following key themes for our individual ideas. So David's initial ideas centered around Kickstart. So how do we motivate and promote the program? For example, using motivational speakers at schools. Sustainable. So the ongoing support for when times get tough, and how do we recover when the wheels fall off? And also enterprising, so giving unemployed and underemployed the skills, tools and abilities so they have something desirable to offer society at large. Myself, I looked at things slightly differently. I looked at underemployment. What are the causes of underemployment? Can young people get into the workforce at the right level, working at the right capacity? Experience. So young people, obviously, a lot of them may be very highly qualified with university degrees, but they lack that real world work experience. And also mentoring. So providing young people with a mentor that can guide them, put them on the right path to success. Leanne did something slightly different. She drew on her personal experience as a national HR manager. And what she found is, there's a disconnect between the youth underemployment and the Australian Skills Occupations List, which highlights a tradie shortage in our country. She also looked at the youth. So promoting a trade through schools is a valuable occupation that can have a huge payoff, both personally and financially. And also a trade certificate. So tradies and having a trade certificate can take you through to retirement with many diverse career paths. So when we put this all together, come back as a group, we were able to populate an initial business model canvas, which is this one here. So I'll now hand over to Leanne, and she'll discuss the initial business model canvas.
What is compelling about our proposal is the connection of the unemployed and underemployed youth in our society to a trade, as it just might ensure their sustainable future, whilst also solving a skills crisis for our country. Part of the value proposition includes access to a library of holistic career information about trades, so that it's like a one-stop shop. Immediate access to employers, so employers would also have access to the students. From school to trade transition, so supporting them from school to enabling them to access a trade. National access, so not just allocated to regional areas or city access. The platform should be easy to use, and it's from idea to inception to in a trade to completion. And essentially, basically, what it should do is connect schools, employers and youth to a trade. The customers that we've perceived will be subscribers, so subscribers to this solution, student users who are looking for alternatives other than university, School, it doesn't appear to be for everybody. Employers, so in particularly employers, so that they can actually access tradies or supply apprenticeships, apprenticeship centres, maybe a source that we could tap into, teachers and advertisers. And in addition to that, the service that we're offering or trying to get to the market, the channels that we would potentially use would be a software program, web application, mobile application, but probably most importantly would be face-to-face facilitation in schools. So as you can see, our initial BMC, so in terms of the customer segments, the value propositions and the channels, certainly looks to inspire young children or youth to enter a trade and hence experience a wealth of careers. Now over to the next slide.
The next section of our business model canvas that we're running through is the customer relationships. Now, customer relationships is going to be one of the most critical sections of this program in order to make it successful. The wicked problem is to create a sustainable lifestyle. Now, a lifestyle isn't just a once-off change, it's something that needs to be ongoing, something that needs to be supported during the hard times. And that's what we're going to achieve with our customers. To do that, we need to be industry recognised. We need to come from a position so that our clients, whether they're students, teachers, in the industry, whether they're employers or support agencies, know that we can walk the walk, not just talk the talk. We've got to be able to have that industry recognition that we can do what we say. The way to promote that industry recognition is through career expos and career days, offering up a help centre so that we're able to continuously supply that support. Referrals and public relations are going to be very important for us to get word of mouth out there and be able to support more and more of the underemployed youth. With training, facilitation, creating opportunities and working relationships with employers as well, so that both sides, the employers and the employees, know that we're there to help them both and create a mutually beneficial scenario. To continue this program from going, we need to also look at our revenue streams. We're looking at subscription fees for our program, along with advertising revenue. From one side, the other is to look at fee for services rendered. So we can look at an application fee, we can consider fees from employers for getting people into work. Along with that is, of course, government backing. This is a social good program, so support from government will be very important as well. Some of our key resources is going to be our branding. We've got to be recognisable. We've got to be out there so people can see us and get the responses and know who to turn to. The other thing we need to look at is our website content, facilitators, so that they can help us join the dots. So people go from looking at what we can do, learning about it, and then getting onto the mobile application, which is going to provide the rest of that program. Now I'll hand you on to run through the rest of the business model canvas with Alistair. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, David. So the next area of the business model canvas, we're going to look at the key activities. So, what are the important things that we need to do to make sure our business model works? As previously mentioned, our brand's important. So, marketing, getting our name out there is obviously one of the key activities. Managing the appropriate content. A lot of work's got to go into that to make sure it's relevant. And maintaining our industry partnerships and employer partnerships. So we see ourselves as a facilitator. So, being that link within the industry, employers is really important. And also, trade road shows, careers expos, that type of stuff. Our key partnerships. So what we can't do, and who can do it for us? Well, what we can't do is we can't provide the people, the participants to come through this program. So for that, we need to be partnered with schools, TAFEs, career counsellors, high school students, particularly in that later half of high school from, sort of year 9, starting at year 9 and moving up through year 10, 11 and 12. We need to partner with unemployed youth and underemployed youth. trade unions, trade industry bodies, and also a big one these days is social networks and social media platforms. The other one we're going to look at is obviously the last part of the business model canvas is costs. So what are our costs? Now, we're in quite early stages here, so obviously we're going to have salaries for staff, website costs, and the ongoing maintenance of that, particularly the setup as well, and also sales and marketing. So anything that involves getting our name out there initially, and I assume that likely there would be more costs in the future as well as we started to grow and gain a bit of traction. Another thing, just a point to note. So when we were formulating our business model canvas, we made quite heavy use of the brainstorming area and Canvanizer at the bottom there. Here's a quick snapshot of some of the ideas that we put in there, and it was good. We found it a good way to share our thoughts and ideas. I'm now going to hand back over to Leanne to wrap up our presentation.
In conclusion, I sincerely hope you all can see the connect and even disconnect between the trade shortage in Australia and the current youth underutilisation rate in Australia, which I have to tell you at 31.5% is the highest it has been in 40 years. Our thought process is that there are simply too many students studying at university, and this is potentially because when the government in 2012 adopted a demand-driven university system, the number of university places increased considerably because prior to that it was capped. For example, in 2009 there were 469,000 places, and in 2013 there were 577,000. It looks like we may not be far from the truth. We are hoping to connect the dots through partnerships with schools, teachers, students, organisations and businesses to encourage students into a trade and show them that university is not for everyone, and in fact, pursuing a trade can also set you up for life. It is extremely clear that the where to from here now becomes extremely important for us as a group as we look to define exactly what solution we will pursue in an effort to tame the wicked problem. The Three Blind Mice sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch, listen and review this presentation, and we hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed watching it all slowly come together. We truly believe we are onto something and hope to be able to share it with you further as we progress through this journey.